Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. It's May 19th, 2016, and I'd like to call to order the Post Falls Urban Renewal Commission. And Director Lean, would you please call the roll?
Yes, Chairman Baltzell.
Here.
Carstensen.
Here.
Coles.
Here.
Crosby.
Here.
Please note that Commissioners Rehrman and Malzahn are missing. They have excused absences. And Commissioner Davis.
Here.
Okay, very good. Diane, would you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance today?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all, and good morning, everyone. Under ceremonies, appointments, and announcement, I would just like to welcome our former Vice Chair of the Urban Renewal Commission, Samantha Babbage, is here visiting in the area, and just want to welcome you back and glad to see you this morning. Yeah, and also I think just about everyone knows that Director Lean is retiring on the 10th of June, and I think that's been pretty well disseminated. And on the 10th of June in the afternoon, we're going to have an open house for those who would like to come in and say hi to him and wish him well on his retirement and talk him out of whatever you can talk him out of at that time. It's a good time to do that. But this is open house to the public, I understand. And we're going to miss him, but he's done a terrific job for us here at Urban Renewal and for our community. So if you get a chance to come by in the afternoon at the Chamber Conference Room, that would be terrific. Thank you.
And today's his birthday. And today's his birthday.
Oh, my goodness sakes. And the best part is that today is Tom's birthday. Yesterday was what's his name here? Mr. Carstensen.
Oh.
He had a birthday yesterday, and Tom Lean has a birthday today, so happy birthday to both of you guys.
Thank you.
Nobody likes to be reminded at our age.
Well,
Right.
I like birthdays.
yeah. We should all have one.
Yeah.
Okay, any other announcements or comments? Conflict disclosure, are there any commissioners that have any conflicts to disclose about anything that's on the agenda this morning? Hearing none, we'll move on to the consent calendar. Director Lean.
Yes, good morning, Chairman Baltzell and Commissioners. On the consent calendar today, item A is the commission meeting minutes from April 21st. Item B is the Communication, Property, and Personnel Committee minutes from April 26th. Item C is the Commission Workshop meeting minutes from May 4th. Item D is the Strategic Planning Session minutes from May 4th also. And attached to that is a summary sheet that we did. Had a summary comment on each of the 4 districts. Item E is payables for the month totaling $132,534.58. And the only large payable is a pay request number 19 from R.L. Wadsworth for $115,348.78. Item F is the bank activity report. And that shows total funds in all accounts of $870,042.82, and accrued interest for the month of $936.88. Item G is the financial reports as of April 30, 2016, that are as printed from our in-house QuickBooks accounting system, and they will be posted to our website. Your approval of the consent calendar will authorize the transfer of $936.88 accrued interest to the general fund and transfer to the INB checking account the $132,534.58 for general payables. Mr. Chairman, I would answer any questions, and a roll call vote would be in order to on a motion to accept.
Okay, I do have one quick question on the payment to R.L. Wadsworth. Is that the last payment except for the holdback?
We probably will have a small pay request in June for just some final work, and also in the June request would be the retainage. There's a little over $500,000 in retainage that we're holding, and both of those will come through in June.
The small items are those for the to-do list for the, to wrap it up, things that were overlooked or needed to be changed or something like that. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir, and that would also include, I think there's 3 remaining panels on the wall, the artwork on the wall. There's 3 panels and a freestanding sign. And so the cost of that material and a few of the minor finished things on the punch list.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Yes, Chairman, I have several. Commissioner Lean, on page 13, which is the summary of the strategic planning meeting, since the intention of the inclusion of page 14, which is a memo to the city administrator summarizing the meeting, is to make, I don't see any reference in that, referencing that memo and making an attachment and a part of the minutes. I'd like to see that so that it becomes part of the minutes and is incorporated into the minutes. I think that's appropriate if we, I think the suggestion was made, we put a summary in the minutes, and this was a fine summary, but I think we need to reference in the minutes the fact that it's attached to and made a part of the minutes.
That's fine, we can do that easily.
I agree. That sounds good.
Just making a matter of record that the summary that was provided to the city administrator as attached will be a part of those minutes of the strategic planning session dated May 4th.
Thank you. Then on the financial report, the Holland and Hart bill is, do we anticipate this is the last bill, or is it still continuing
I sent them an email.
documentation of the parcel?
I understand. I made a phone call 2 days ago and asked them if this was going to be the last final billing on the Greens Ferry project, and I have not heard back from them. I anticipate that, I don't know of any other conversations or document processing that we have done, but the billing here for $1,346 is for items that go back into the end of March. So we may in fact have similar small item in April. But I'm anticipating them responding to my phone call, my voicemail, asking them if this is going to be the last one, or have we got any remnants?
Thank you.
I would think by now that we should be done.
I was hoping.
A month or 2 since the last transaction, we should still be getting billed. So I would think if they do bill us, we'll scrutinize that closely to make sure that it's a valid request.
Absolutely.
Okay.
On
Thank
the
you.
on the
Go ahead.
check detail on page 16, check number 2719, hourly vacation of $120.25. Can you help me understand what that is?
I took 5 hours of vacation.
Was that yours? Our executive assistant took 5 hours vacation.
I see.
Represents compensation
Okay.
for that.
Thank you. And on the Wadsworth contract, can you refresh my memory? What was change order number 10? $4,297.
I don't recall offhand. I can find that information for you.
Okay.
Provide it to you later.
That's apparently for work that still remains to be finished, yes? Because it shows as part of the balance to finish.
Yes, that would be correct.
Those are my questions. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Anyone else have any questions? Okay. If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented and modified with the.
I move the approval of the consent calendar as revised and modified.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Baltzell,
Aye.
Carstensen,
Aye.
Coles,
Aye.
Crosby,
Aye.
and Davis.
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. Committee updates. Finance and Policy, Commissioner Crosby.
Nothing to report.
Okay. How about District Review?
Same for me.
Same for you. Going to make it 3 for 3?
We're going to have a triple here, yes.
Okay, Communications, Property, and Personnel, Commissioner Carstensen.
No, nothing.
Okay, I think we've been doing a lot of work the last few months and come all to a close and getting things nice and tidy that way, so. Okay, citizen comments. This section of the agenda is reserved for citizens wishing to address the commission regarding an agency-related issue. Comments related to future public meetings should be held for that public hearing. Persons wishing to speak will have 5 minutes. Do we have anybody that would like to speak? Okay. Okay, very good. Moving on. Unfinished business. Director Lane?
Yes, if I may, I would like to make comment from the podium over here. I make comment from here so I can reference the overhead display. On unfinished business, the agency order of approval for reimbursement for Copper Basin construction is for the project costs at Cecil Road, Hope Avenue, Charleville Road, and the roundabout at the intersection of Hope. So we're Cecil Road right from this point up through, and then on Hope Avenue up to the roundabout, and then a small section here. All of this work is within this Phase 2B. The Phase 2B improvements in the East Post Falls Tullamore subdistrict, total amount of $1,407,534.38. The request is in compliance with the terms of the owner participation agreement. The costs are in line with initial engineering estimates and are supported by invoices, all of which has been reviewed by our outside engineer firm, Welch Comer. So the last reimbursement request we processed was for Phase 2A and in this area for these streets, and the current one is Phase 2B for this. This is a continuation of the earlier street through here. All of these streets that are outlined and marked, that are highlighted, are classified as arterial collector roads. We are not funding any of the interior streets interior to the residential area. I made a comment at City Council meeting the other night. I was asked to comment on that, and we do not use the urban renewal funds, the tax increment funds, to build rooftops or to build the roads, the interior roads in a residential area. We do use those, and this is per the plan, the district plan. We use those for the main arterial collector roads in the district. I would stand for further questions.
Yes, Chairman, I had one question, and it's really not for you. It's a clarification from Commissioner Cole. We had talked in the strategic planning session about backage roads for Highway 41. It would appear to me that as we finish Cecil, Cecil could serve in that capacity at least up to the city limits. Is that because it's proposed to go all the way to pole line? Is that what your concept of a backage road is when you were suggesting that?
I don't recall whether Cecil was part of that backage road system or not. The backage road system, I think, is further to the south, but it is back from Highway 41. I think Charleville was potentially a backage road.
Okay, but yeah, okay. So one of those two would effectively serve as that capacity, which would be a traffic alternative to Highway 41. So it's
correct.
I just that helps me understand some of the improvements that are being paid for now and some of the ones that are proposed for in the future, which is why I asked Commissioner Lean or Director Lean to put the map up. So thank you. That was my only question.
I could be wrong, but I think my understanding of backage roads is that that's a discussion that's really in the early stages, and
Right.
they're way, way, way far away from even knowing which side of 41 the backage roads are going to go. So, but if it's on the west side, certainly these could be players for sure.
Yeah, my only thought was, obviously, if you had a major traffic incident on Highway 41, somebody could basically go around that incident if it occurred between Pole Line and Mullen by using either Cecil or Charleville once those are extended and completed.
They're completed, yeah. Yep, exactly.
And emergency vehicles, too.
And one last thing for clarification, the district boundary is right here, so we would not be able to fund any extension from Cecil Road, on Cecil Road, from this point up to Prairie. So this portion of Cecil Road, we would not fund. It's outside of the district.
Would you outline the northern edge of the district, please, so we can, just for clarity? Just the northern edge would be fine.
The northern edge along pole line is right here,
Oh, Prairie.
and it runs on Prairie.
Prairie, yeah.
And it runs back to this point, and then back,
Okay.
it jogs down, back down to Cecil.
And to the east?
And to the east, it runs down to here, and then straight up to Highway 41.
Okay.
So
thank you.
typically, the earlier conversation we had on Backage Road, typically a Backage Road would be just off of Highway 41 in this area or in this area, not so far removed
Right.
all the way back here, but that's future options, future discussion.
But I think what I'm hearing Len say is that in the meantime, before we get to that stage of backage roads, or the city does that, that these roads being there could be an alternative in emergency situations.
Yes.
And I would concur with that. Any other questions on their request for payment? I would entertain a motion to approve.
I do have one other question, and it relates basically to one of the financial report charts, which shows each of our districts and our approved obligation and the obligation balance. On North Tullamore, we show an approved obligation of $2,000,007 with a obligation balance of $1,004,000. Is this transaction in that balance now, or will it improve? Okay, so it will basically increase the amount of our obligation.
That is correct.
$1,004,000.
Clarify which part of what he asked is correct.
Both.
On the, both, yes. On Tullamore North, on this financial page,
Yes, sir.
it shows approved obligation total. It has been approved to date. It's $2,007,000. The obligation balance today is $1,457,000. So with your approval, make a motion, approve the current reimbursement request. That will, the current request is $1,407,000, I believe. So the outstanding obligation balance upon your approval would be $2,864,000.
No, 3,000,002, 3,000,001.
$1,004,000 plus $1,004,000.
Oh, I see, you're right, obligation balance, yeah, you're right,
Quick math.
2,000,008.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, thank you.
So I would entertain a motion to approve the payment as requested.
I'd make a motion to approve that payment as requested.
And actually, I should probably clarify, it's an order of a payment. We're not actually making the payment at this time. Right?
That is correct. The payments will be made.
Clarify that, sorry, Larry.
Payments will be made in the future as tax increment is received. Those payments are made semi-annually.
I second the motion.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, roll call vote?
Chairman Baltzell,
Aye.
Carstensen,
Aye.
Coles,
Aye.
Crosby,
Aye.
and Davis.
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. Is there any new business to discuss at this time? Hearing none, we'll move on to staff report and updates, please.
Had two really quick items. One, the staff from the agency, the city, the R.L. Wadsworth, the general contractor, and the owner's rep, JUB Engineering, conducted the last walkthrough last week to identify any remaining punch list items on the Greens Ferry Overpass project. These will be addressed by the contractor over the next few weeks, and we anticipate a final pay request, like I mentioned earlier. That pay request, which will include retainage, will be processed in the June commission meeting. So, and I got an email from Ken Sorensen, JUB, this morning, saying we need to close the door on this and take the punch list as we have it, accept that, get those items done, and get this closed, and not keep coming back and back and back with more things. I responded to him that that's enough said, let's get it done and close this one. But that's our remaining, the remaining punch list items are not big. They're just typical large project items that need to be completed.
Chairman, one question. You don't anticipate this will result in any change orders or cost increases? There's nothing there that was over and above the contract?
That is correct.
Thank you.
That is correct.
Well, there is that one piece of fencing on the north side of the bridge that could be.
It will be.
An additional cost. It was overlooked in the plan, the one that goes down the access road to the east
Okay.
of the bridge down by the park, RV park. But it's going to be about $1,800.
Yes, we got we had to add that piece of fencing, to meet city code, and it's about 30 feet. We opted to go, we got a couple of options from the contractor. One was about 6,800, one was 1,600. So we opted for the black wire mesh, like a chain link fence, for 1,600, but because it's extra money, I told them to go ahead and issue the change order before we brought it to commission. Something that has to be done to meet code. It's a small dollar amount, and chairman can sign that change order when we get that in.
What kind of fencing was 6,800? For
It's
30 feet?
It's the same kind of fencing as on the bridge itself.
Ah, okay. Oh, yeah, the heavier gauge.
Yeah,
I
but
understand.
where that
Pedestrian
fencing is
fence.
going to go, if you're driving on the bridge, you wouldn't see it. I mean, you're going to miss it. It's down below.
So you might catch the gap if you were going slowly on the freeway, maybe.
Maybe.
You'd have to
You don't
look
see anybody
quick.
go that slow on the freeway.
That's
do you?
true.
The people in the RV park could probably see it. Okay.
Last item I had, Chairman, was I provided a letter to you, and that was a formal notice of resignation due to retirement. That's effective June 10th. I just make note of that because the formality in this is that I'm required to provide 30 days notice of that, which I did, and a copy of that letter was provided in the information packet. That's all I had.
Okay. Thank you, Diane.
I would
Do
like
have
to say
anything
thank
add?
you
Oh,
for,
excuse me, I thought you said
to
that.
Commission for all the support over the last several years, all of the commissioners, including Commissioner Babbage, former Commissioner Babbage, Shelley, Enderud, city staff, everybody for all of the work that we have done, everything we've accomplished in the last several years. It's been a trip. It's been very educational. It's been very rewarding, and I've enjoyed it a great deal, and I just say thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Any commissioner comments?
None for me, except I enjoyed working with Tom the time he was here, and wish him the best.
I would echo that and say that, in his tenure, he handled I would say all of the major construction improvements that the commission has funded over its years of existence. So you did an excellent job overseeing those.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything you want to?
Well, I can't add anything to it other than it's been a pleasure to work with Tom, and I think back to the time when we first brought him on staff, and what do you expect from the new guy, And it's been very rewarding and fulfilling, and I think you did everything we asked you to do, plus a little.
A little bit more.
A little bit more, yeah.
You want to rebut?
Yes. You made a comment, what do we expect from the new guy? I don't want to be remiss in not introducing formally the new guy, but to my right is Diane Fountain, and she is going to be the interim executive director. So you will see her face sitting at this chair next month. So this is the new guy, and we'll see what you expect from her.
And to be
Be an
politically
improvement,
correct, she's a new
won't it?
person.
I think maybe the
She
minutes
has-
should reflect that she's not a guy.
She has more, at least she has more hair.
Yeah.
And looks better.
That's all.
That's all you had? Okay. Well, I won't take too much more time. I just want to say that, having Tom on board for almost 8 years, it's almost as long as I've been a commissioner, and I've only known him since, I think, junior high, so a couple of years. But I can just say that he came here and at a time when our financial records and financial processes were marginal in terms of meeting expectations of auditors and some of the requirements as an urban renewal commission and agency. He's done a superb job, especially with Diane's help in changing that and turning that around to where we have flawless audits and the last 3 years at least that I know of, and no reason to believe it to be anything different. That, in my mind, is a big deal because that's showing that we're good stewards of the community's money, the people's money, and these projects. And then to take that a few steps further, like Len said, he's been involved in every major project basically that we've had in the past 8 years, 4 of them all at one time, and all coming due at basically one time. And you've done a superb job in keeping us out of trouble, keeping the community out of trouble, and putting together some really nice projects. And I just think you've done a superb job. So thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments from anyone?
And thank you.
If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I would move that we adjourn.
I would second that.
And seconded, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. We're adjourned.
Good.